My name's Amber and I'm the founder of Baiia swimwear. And why I started Baiia and why it still lights me up to this day is because I really see the transition that women experience within themselves when they finally feel confident enough to be half naked and in public, which is really what a swimsuit demands of you. And so seeing that shift in customers and women around the world is just so fulfilling for me. I really want to hold up a mirror to women to show them how the rest of the world sees them, but how they've always wanted to see themselves as well as a confident, sexy, powerful individual who goes about her life any way she chooses and comfortably. And it's really, I think, heart-touching for me that myself and my team can create a product that's in the form of a swimsuit that actually allows women to step into that and feel that about themselves. I set up a little IKEA shelf and just had stocked all of these bikinis. I think I had one box worth. That was my very first shipment. That's all I could afford. And that's really how it started. I think the first year or 2 years of my business, I was making less in 1 year than the business makes in 1 day now. So it was very kind of grassroots, not really a business, more of a side hobby. I had like 3 jobs at the time, and then when I'd come home and have a few hours to myself, instead of sleeping sometimes, I would work on the business, and that's what the early days looked like. So really rough, but I've had a lot of belief and a lot of determination that I had committed to something that was going to work because there was so much heart in it, and I knew that if I just kept going, I'd meet the right people and I'd be doing the right things to eventually get the business to where it is today, which I'm so grateful for. Sustainability isn't really something that I think of separate when I think of business. It's something that is just a part of business. It has to be something that you have to think of in every step of your business's practice. I think there's a lot of businesses that don't see the environment as one huge stakeholder. I mean, it really is. I think if you don't have a planet, if you don't have an environment to operate, you cannot exist because you can't operate. And so it's not even a separate part that I think is so important. It's just an integral part that I don't even second question. It's like when I think of customers, like, why do you think customers are so important? Well, because without customers, you can't be a business. Without a product, you can't be a business. Without the planet, you can't be a business. It's just as important as every other big, key, important thing in business. And so that's just how I see it. That's my mindset about it. It's why since day one, I wouldn't have ever started my business if there wasn't an option to use fabrics that were generated from something else, or dyes that were more environmentally conscious. I've always implemented practices as a business that paid respect to the planet, and I always will. The wrap suit kind of came about by accident a little bit. I was always obsessed with wrap dresses. I loved wrap dresses, again, because I don't really have much of a curvy shape, and wrap dresses just really pulled me at the waist and gave me that accentuated shape that I really wanted. And I really wanted that in a swimsuit. So I created this wrap swimsuit, worked with my suppliers and getting a kind of prototype sample. And then I thought it would be so cool if we could do some kind of reversibility or interchangeability feature to this, because at the time when I was writing about sustainable fashion, capsule wardrobes were just so interesting to me, and I loved them, especially because I love to travel, and I was always looking at how can I take as little pieces as possible and make so many different variations. I love the resourcefulness of that, and so I really kind of explored that, and I was thinking, okay, we want to make it reversible. How do we do that? So we kind of realized, well, actually I can't make the wrap suit reversible without actually separating a piece or 2 pieces, which is how I discovered I could separate the chest piece and then separate the tie. And then that is really how I came across the 3-piece wrap suit, essentially. And then by separating those pieces, it actually allowed you to wear it so many more ways. You can mix and match, and that was just that, like the cherry on top, I think, to have something that was shaping, sculpting, really flattering, and then reversible, and of course sustainable, and then you can wear it so many different ways. I just thought, yeah, this is something that I really want to look into. again, the wrap suit bikini was kind of like a invention by accident. It was really, we put the wrap suits out there and you just get a lot of feedback saying, oh, I love the wrap suit, but I'm a size 14 in my hips and a size 10 in my top, or vice versa. Women's bodies are so varied, you've got to be able to accommodate for different sizes all across the body. And so the wrap suit just wasn't really allowing that. There was an element of customization that the wrap suit gave me beyond an ordinary one piece, but there were limitations for sure. And so the bikini really came about through identifying what those limitations the wrap suit were. And so we invented the bikini, and the beauty of the bikini is that we realized you could wear it so many ways. Again, there were so many different variations where you could mix and match and style differently, and it was just beautiful to be able to finally see the women who really wanted a wrap suit but it didn't quite work for them, finally be able to enjoy that wrap suit experience through the bikini. It's always a tough one because everyone's starting their business, or anyone who's an entrepreneur is at a different stage of their business's growth. And advice that I think is helpful for anyone, no matter where they are, is getting really clear on your values. Because whether you're hiring staff, or you're just working alone, or you're looking to find a new manufacturer, or you're looking at new designs for new product, your values are really going to be your northern star of what decision you should make, essentially. A lot of people think that you start establishing values once you start building a team, so you can be really clear on culture. And of course, while your values are so fundamental before you start hiring people, I highly recommend that you do that before you start hiring people. It's also really important that you're doing it in those early days when it's just you, because there are 1,000,001 things going through your mind, 1,000,001 decisions you have to make all by yourself. You almost have no one to soundboard them off. Your values can act as like your soundboarder. You can put pieces of questions to your values and go, well, should I do this or should I do that? And if you can see that option one actually aligns clearly with your top values, and even though you felt like, oh no, I thought I should have done that option, you can see, well, actually no, this option actually resonates with the values and what business I want to build in the long run. So I'm going to go with that option, and it just takes all that decision fatigue out. It just helps in so many different ways, and I think it actually helps light you up and lift you up when there are really hard times in your business, because there will be really hard times in your business, unfortunately and fortunately, because that's where you'll find your growth, and that's where you'll get really clear and close to yourself on finding what type of business owner you are, and what type of business you want to run, and what type of life you want to live. It also helps you feel more fulfilled in what you're doing every day. Sometimes when it gets really difficult in small business, you just go, why the heck am I doing this? You can go back to your values, you can go back to your mission, you can go back to your why and be like, this is why I'm doing it. And I may not feel like it today, but I'm getting up day after day after day because I'm committed to these values. And that's another big piece of advice, is the businesses that actually make it are the ones that have leaders that are tenacious as hell. You wake up every single day and you may feel like the world is going to pull you under, but you still show up and you still give your business all you've got because you're committed to those values, and you're committed to your mission, you're committed to the people that you're serving for.